This week, the Debrief is happy to welcome Marley Pierre-Louis and Antonine Pierre. They're both from the Brooklyn Movement Center, and that's a non-profit, community-based organization. And you've spent the week pushing an effort to educate and raise awareness about what you call street harassment. Marley, explain what that is.
Sure. Street harassment is defined as unsolicited remarks, either verbal or there could be touching gestures directed from a man towards a woman in a public space.
I see. And this is sometimes behavior that has been made fun of in the movies, like, you know, at a construction site, whistling at a woman or something like that. But Antonine, you're saying you can be more serious than that and be more offensive than that, correct?
Right. I think that a lot of the women that fight against street harassment have definitely experienced what's on the further end of the spectrum of street harassment. So being followed to their homes, being sexually violated in the street, or, you know, all of these things that may start off as a whistle or may start out as a hey baby, but then escalate to a point where a woman doesn't know if she's going to make it home safe.
Interesting. Marley, you give an example of being followed in a car. Is that correct? Once?
Yeah, I've been followed on a regular basis on my way to work by cars that just kind of slow down and follow, like someone will be yelling out the window while I'm walking, been followed on foot, been chased after in broad daylight on my way to work.
So part of this week, you had an anti-harassment week. You had a little open dialogue for women. What kind of stories? Did they tell similar stories? And did they even realize that this behavior is offensive and wrong? Or do they say, hey, this is a part of life? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the big issue is that both women and men do sort of normalize it and think that it's a part of life, even when they recognize that there's something wrong. So a woman may deal with harassment. She may deal with, you know, having bottles thrown at her, being spit at from men. But because she experiences it so many times in one day, she may not realize that she actually has the power to stop that and to change that behavior.
Is it confusing for some men? Is there a line that can be crossed? What's complimentary, what is okay, and I guess it's different for the individual? I don't know. How do you handle it?
I think that it can be confusing for men, and that's why we're engaging with this, because we really want it to be something that's not about criminalizing men or demonizing men, but something that's about making a community. So we like to say it's fine to say good morning. We all want to be part of a community, but once you say sexy or comment on a body part of mine, then you're sexualizing me, and then it's not okay. It's not a compliment.
And it gets to a greater just respect for women, respect for each other.
Exactly.
Right. I think that we live in a society where women aren't respected in general. You know, we don't make the same pay, anything like that. When it comes to street harassment, we organize in Bed-Stuy, so organizing in a predominantly working class neighborhood of color with women of color means that in terms of respect, women who are walking through the neighborhood already have a lot of strikes against them. Forget about if you identify as queer or something else that men feel like they can use to hold against you in terms of not giving you respect in a public space.
All right, you can find out more about it at your website, I would imagine. This effort, even though it was a week, will continue, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Brooklyn Movement Center. Thank you, ladies, for coming in and sharing that with us. And thank you for joining us on The Debrief. We'll see you next time.